What's up, chicken nuggets? Today, I want to talk to you about the biggest loss I've ever had on a card. Let's do it. So if you listen to a recent episode, I actually just talked about this. So I was like, you know what? I've never told the story about the biggest loss I've ever had on a card. And to make me feel better, if you guys would, let's all, is it commiserate? Or let's all, if you're on the YouTube, if you're not on the Spotify or on that Apple podcast game, if you're on YouTube, if you want to go in the comments and talk about your biggest loss, it would make all of us feel better, and you would not. Some of you might make you feel better because you're like, oh, cool, I've lost less money on a card than this. Now, does it technically count as a loss if I haven't sold it? You be the judge. But I know what the value is at now, and I know that I'm under that value. So I want to kind of backstory this. And again, I talked about it on a recent episode. So if you just listen to that or you watch them back to back, first off, thank you. I love you. You're incredible. But if you didn't, this is brand new to you. So this was around, I guess like 2 maybe years ago. I had a guy, and he was a friend of a friend who collected. And this guy he would buy a bunch of stuff and then sell it all, and then buy a bunch and sell it. And so he was like in and out of the card game. And I had bought a couple things from him, and then he had a LeBron James come up for sale. And I like LeBron James. Like, he's I always say my Mount Rushmore of players I collect are Michael Jordan. It's all GOATs. Michael Jordan, LeBron James, Steph Curry, and Jordan Poole, the 4 GOATs. And those are my main basketball collects. I guess I need to start tossing Kobe up on there because I looked up and I collect a lot of Kobe, AI, and Shaq as well. But I just feel like LeBron is undervalued. And what I always say is, if you are in the argument for greatest player of all time, you're worth collecting. You know what I mean? Like, you can pick MJ, you can pick him. If you don't put LeBron in your top 5, I'll nod my head and smile, but I don't agree at all with that. And I think you're just hating on him because what he has done for how long he has done it, well, he's just done it longer. Yeah, that's the hardest part, is doing things for a long time. You can be like, well, Isaiah Thomas won 2 championships in a row. Michael Jordan won 6. Yeah, okay, why is it better? Because he won championships more. Guess what? LeBron James has had more successful seasons. He's been one of the dominant voices in the NBA and helped carry that league and make it what it is today. He has elevated that league. And he's been one of the best players. He went to the finals 9 years in a row. We live in a year where there are going to be 7 different champions in 7 years. It shows the parity of the league. And this man made it to the finals 9 years in a row leading up to that time. Up to that, I think he did. Up until the Warriors played against the Raptors in 2019. I'm pretty sure LeBron made it from 2010 through 2018 every single year, which I think is 9. I know the math doesn't sound right, but it was 9 years in a row. That's insane. You're like, oh, but he didn't win. There were 30 other teams that didn't make it there 9 years in a row, and this man obviously was the best player on all of those teams that he played on. That is insane to me. Insane to me. I'm sorry. That is just so insane. So if you don't like him for whatever reason, that's fine. And I'm wearing, if you're on YouTube, I'm wearing a jersey. He didn't go to FAMU. It's a HBCU, historically black college university. And they had these jerseys. It says James, number 6. Actually, used to work for an HBCU. And so I love it, and I love that. So that's why I'm wearing the jersey. You didn't ask for that information. I'm just throwing it out there. I'm just trying to tone it down because I got hype about people not putting LeBron James in the top 5. He is so good. He is so good. And I heard this. And again, this is coming from a guy. I'm just pointing this out. If you're like getting aggravated at me, like, oh, you're hitting the dislike button, seeing if you can like report me as like harmful, or whatever on YouTube. I'm not giving you ideas. Don't do that. If you're upset that I said that and you're like, LeBron's not because of whatever. One of the big arguments that people make about LeBron not, being one of the greatest players of all time, which again, you don't have a lot of people anymore that say that, is about the team switching, about him switching teams. And again, I love Michael Jordan. I have the most money in Michael Jordan out of any player I collect. So I love I'm in love with Michael Jordan. Okay. LeBron James switched teams in his pro career the exact same as Michael Jordan. No, the Chicago Bulls, because we pretend like Michael Jordan only played 6 years in the league. You ready? This is crazy. I saw this I saw it actually a few months ago, and I haven't said it out loud, so I'm gonna hope I don't mess it up. So, you ready? LeBron and Michael. Let's look at the parallels of their journey. So you got LeBron starts on the Cavs, Mike starts on the Bulls. Actually, LeBron was on less teams because he didn't go to a college team. So high school, technically Michael had a college year. We'll ignore that. We'll say it starts your first year you're drafted to the NBA. Cavs and Bulls. They both had a run. Same team. One team. LeBron leaves the Cavs, goes to the Heat. Michael Jordan left the Bulls and went to the Birmingham Barons. Oh, he went to a different sport. He left the team that drafted him and went to a new team, just like LeBron did. LeBron then left the Heat, went back to the team that drafted him. Michael Jordan left the Birmingham Barons, went back to the team that drafted him. Exact same trajectory. LeBron James leaves the Cavs, goes to the Lakers. Still with them. Michael Jordan retired and joined another team in the Washington Wizards. Okay. Again, I love the Wizards MJ stuff. Like, I'm a big collector of that. That is the exact same trajectory. Team that drafted you went to a different team, went back to team that drafted you, went to another team. They have been on the same number of teams. That's it. That's all I want to say. Just throwing that out there. It's what I think. Now, that dude, the friend of the friend, hit me up, said, do you want to buy this? He was selling it for $3,200. The comps were around 32 to 35 at the time. Remember, it got up to, I want to say a little over 9,000 a little bit before that. Like 6 months, a year before that, it was going for 9K. And so in my mind, I'm thinking, that's the cap right now. Because it has sold legitimately for $7,000, $8,000, $9,000. I'm buying it on the drop, right? And I thought I was buying it at the bottom of the dip. Turns out I was in the middle of the dip. So I bought it for $3,200, $3,200. Then it was a BGS 9.5, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to send that thing to PSA because the PSA 10s were going for like 4 or 5. It looked super center. It looked really clean. I sent it to PSA as a crossover, which means I sent it in my BGS slab. PSA looks at it. If it is a PSA 10, they crack it, put it in a PSA 10 slab. If it is not a PSA 10, like I can choose this, by the way. If it's less than a PSA 10, I told them I want them to keep it in a BGS 9.5. I'm not kidding. I have never had PSA turn something around that fast. They turned into SGC. Like as soon as they got it, they were like, oh, here you go. And they sent it back to me. I joke around and say they sent it back to me before it got in the mail. So before it got to them in the mail. Sent it back to me. That cost me $300 to try to do a crossover. So I took a $300 gamble to turn this into a PSA 10 and I lost, okay? Put it all on black. And it rolled to red. Actually rolled to green 0. So I got, that was a gambling reference. I don't know. I haven't been to a casino in a long time. I think I used to play cards a lot in college. You didn't ask for this information. I used to play cards a lot in college with my buddies. And I was pretty good at it. And then on my honeymoon, we were on a cruise, like 22. And I was like, hey, I was talking to my wife, Amanda. I was like, hey, I'm going to go down and try the casino. I love to play cards. I lost $90 in 5 minutes. And I was like, you know, I think I'm good. And I officially retired. Now I just play Uno with my kids. So I sent this to him, took a $300 gamble, and I lost it. So I say I bought it for $32, but I always say that it's $3,500 because that's what I have in this card. Because $3,200 for the purchase, $3,500. This card, I'm going to look it up right now, and I'm going to look up on Card Ladder because it has verified sales. 2003 Topps Chrome LeBron James 111. Here are the recent sales. Oh, I need to see BGS 9.5. Sorry. BGS, which is Beckett, BGS 9.5. Now, I know not all 9.5s are created equally. My subgrades are all 9.5s, but the centering is a 9. And the reason is because on the back, it's a little bit off center. That's my guess because the front looks beautiful. Oh, sweet. It's gone up a little. This is great. Okay, so here are the latest sales. 2,200, 2,600. That's got to be, what are the subgrades on that? Those are all 9.5 subgrades. So that's the reason that one went a little higher because those BGS 9.5s. And okay, one with my exact subgrades, 9.5s and a 9 on centering, it went for 22. So that's great. So it's actually higher. And that sold yesterday. Oh, that's so nice. Okay, that's helpful because last time I looked this up, which was several months ago, they were selling like 1,800, give or take 200. So 2,200, 2,600, 2,000, 2,000, 2,500. Okay, so we're going to go, since that is like usually I try to do an average when I do comps of recent sales. I'll throw out the 2,600. I'm averaging around $2,100. That means this card is worth $1,400 less than I have in it. $1,100 less than I paid for it originally. That is my biggest loss on the card. So what have I learned from that? Same thing I told you guys in a previous episode. Buy stuff you don't mind keeping long term. Buy stuff you like. Buy stuff you don't mind getting stuck with. Because, again, I'm not stuck with this. I could sell it. I need to get out of it. I could sell it for probably $2,000 right now, okay? I lost $1,500, which where that hurts is thinking of what... Do you ever do this? When you think of like what you sell a card for, you think of like what you could have bought with the money you lost. Like, oh, what could I do with that $1,500? I could have bought like a low-end Kobe auto. You know what I mean? Like, I could have bought this with the $1,500. That's actually how I work on everything. My wife's like, oh, it's going to cost $300. I'm like, $300, that's like a Jordan Poole gold out of 10 prism. Like, I think like, what is that value in sports cards? I don't know if I'm the only one that does that. Let me know in the comments if you do it too. But like, that is what I've learned. I do not mind having this LeBron James card because, again, one of my favorite players. I think he's one of the greatest players of all time. Arguably, I have him number 2 on my personal thing of all time. But if I sit and look at numbers, my head wants to start saying he's number 1. My heart says number 2. But dang, those numbers are hard to argue with. And again, it's all subjective. I like to classify GOATs by eras, and I think he is the GOAT of what I call like the 2000 to 2015 era, and then the Steph era comes after that, which, by the way, NBA 2K agrees. That's what they call their eras. But I love that card, and I don't mind having it. That's what I learned from it. Also, I learned, and that's especially, every card I've ever bought that was over $1,000 is a card that's in my PC. Like, I've only bought probably 5 to 10 cards over $1,000. They're all PC cards. I've never bought a card over $1,000 to flip, to my knowledge. I don't think I have. I have to think about it, but I'm pretty sure I haven't. So if you've seen a video where I did, let me know, and I'll explain myself. So that's my thoughts in the comments. Let us all know, what is the card you have the biggest loss on, or if you have any thoughts. I didn't mean to go on a LeBron, MJ, GOAT debate, but here we are, all right? Let me know in the comments, and I think this should come out around Fanatics Fest time. If you're going to Fanatics Fest, I'll be there. I'll be there all 3 days. I might have to leave early on Sunday because of my flight, but let me know. Holla at your boy. I'm your boy. If you see me, come say hi. I'll be wearing probably Jordan Poole jerseys the whole time. Submitted the thing for Fanatics Games, but I don't think I got in. So I'll just be walking around, making content, having fun, hanging out, taking selfies with people that I like. I'll be like, hey, I know your videos. Will you take a selfie with me? Because I don't care. Like, I had a guy, it was actually the guy that runs Fanatics Fest, so sorry, bro. But he was talking on a podcast, and he's like talking about how he doesn't really care about like autographs or photos, and he called it hero worship. Like, I don't see any athletes. I'm just gonna throw this out there. This podcast just going off. It's my podcast. I guess I'll talk what I want. Thank you to our sponsors, nobody. Card Ladder, pretty much. Because I looked up LeBron on Card Ladder, just explaining myself. I think I don't consider any of these people my heroes. Like, they're not. I don't have like, no one I would classify as that. However, I do admire people who have like the mental fortitude to be consistent and are the greatest in the fields that I care about. Like, the fact that these people are so good at playing the game of basketball, a sport that I love, like, I highly respect and see that. And so I just like it. So I think it's cool and it's fun, and I'll ask for autographs and photos, and it's cool. It's whatever. It's a world that I love, and I admire those people because I love basketball, and I will never be 1/1000th as good as these dudes. And it's super cool to see how great they've gotten and how much work they've put into it. So I don't know. That's just what I like. And yeah, if you see me, say hi. I would love to say hi if you're a part of this community. I think you're dope. And so are sports cards. Thank you guys so much for listening. Later. Bye.